没有走完的路不会是终点，故事的走向是自己选择的坚持。
这个故事的开头还算不错，相信过程，相信自己走过的路。
那些最激动人心的冒险，从来不是单枪匹马的挑战。
과거는 잊으세요. 내일이 새로운 시작입니다. 내 경기가 새로운 도전입니다.
我们愿意为胜利付出许多代价，改变只是其中之一。
어떤 사람이든 현재에 만족하지 않고 어떠한 사람이든 제자리 걸음을 하지 않는다.
过去的荣耀就存留在记忆中，这一抹红色要照亮未来。
为之付出的心血越多，收获的果实才越甘甜。
赛场上的事怎能尽如人意？我只想追求无愧于心。
保持微笑，胜利总会专顾你。
在尝过赢得一切的滋味之后，你绝对不会甘心做第二名。
尖矛和利刃是勇者的武器，也有最坚硬的盾和扬起风帆的大旗。
如果翻不过这座山， 他们就听不到你的故事。
这个故事的结局将由我们来谱写。为了无悔，为了胜利，为了站在世界这边。
Hello and welcome to the English broadcast of the League of Legends Pro League, and for our first series we are going to be chiming in to the studio in Chengdu. It's going to be OMG's home arena today as they look to try and find another win. Now it's been a rough road for them so far, old OMG, but we'll see if they can make the final swing back towards Worlds because, hey, we are here in the summer split, so let's see if they can do it. My name is Pulse. I'm going to be with Zach Rusty Pie. How are you, Zach Rusty Pie?
I'm not too bad. Ready to go. There's a lot of League of Legends to come today. It's a 3-set day, so nonetheless we'll be starting early and going through the day.
Including our match of the week, so make sure to tune in for that. But let's start off by talking about the standings. Now, a lot has happened over the last couple of days, including yesterday on Friday and also Tuesday and Wednesday. So we've had a couple of changes in terms of the standings, but the top of the table pretty much unchanged. IG, RNG, RW and EDG still at the top of their respective conferences.
Yeah, the top 4 stays as the top 4 now. Invictus Gaming stand alone at 9-1 in the standings. No one else able to get more than 8 victories yet thus far. RNG are the ones that you have to look at below them, of course, missing Uzi, but at the same time still managing to get some of those wins. Some upsets still to be seen, however. Rogue Warriors being able to 2-0 them is the one that comes to mind, and I mean the rest of the ladder there in the Eastern Conference fighting for that 4th place spot.
Yeah, of course you've got to be, as you said, looking towards JD, Suni, and on the opposite side, you know, a bit of a question mark for some people would be, hey, Snake's still there. They're just chilling there in 3rd spot in the Western Conference, 6-4 right now. And just behind them, what's that? TOP?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of teams just behind them, actually. Yeah. Snake, I'm not surprised that they're in the top 4. I'd say they are one of the people on paper, one of the teams on paper that you would expect to be there. The other one that you would expect is Team WE, and they are well and truly solidified in 7th place, not having a very good experience so far. Someone was down near them was OMG, and they'll be playing today.
And it's true. Now, let's turn our attention to today's matches. Now, we are in the OMG home arena to start us off in Chengdu. They're going to be taking on BLG today off some momentum of their last couple games. Yes, they lost the last one, but that EDG set was definitely something. We'll be following up with the game in Hangzhou. It will be LGD taking on Rogue Warriors. It'll be ending the day with our match of the week.
Yeah, I know that the match of the week will be exciting. We'll get into that in a second, because that second set, Pulse, there's something on the line here for these teams. LGD looking to make it 4 in a row. They've already got a win streak. Maybe that can continue. Maybe the run finally starts here. I know every LGD fan at home is like, stop saying it, stop saying it. Maybe it happens.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you keep saying maybe.
Yeah.
Where do you sit? Do you think they're actually going to take the 2-0, the 2-1 today? Okay.
I'm firmly against, and here's the thing, like, I know there's some conversations going on right now about who will win in that second set. we've all had a phase as casters on which team that, like, when we're going to support LGD, because we've all had our moments supporting them, and we've all been burnt. And now someone else seems to believe it as well.
Indeed, yeah, we'll get onto that a little bit later and go back to the analyst desk for that one. Yeah, we'll see how that one goes. But we will talk about our match of the week now, because it is Invictus Gaming going up against EDG. Now, this is obviously a very big match. Invictus Gaming seems like a lot of question marks have been over their head from at least the community and some analysts. It's just like, well, are they actually good right now? Because look at the bottom lane, it doesn't seem super cohesive, but they are still #1 in the league. They're still 9-1 in terms of the standings.
And they're still getting the wins at the end of the day. So yes, this isn't IG returning to their former glory of spring, the start of spring, where they had a record almost for the amount of wins in a row that they got. In saying that, the Shy has returned, is starting to play better, and that's what you're looking at towards them. Ray versus the Shy in top lane will be sick, and Rookie versus Scout in mid lane is going to pop off.
Yeah, it's been baby steps from the Shy in the top lane. Seen a lot of tank play from him so far, but that'll be happening at 7 PM China time, so whatever that is in your respective time, Google it or Bing it if you're in China, and definitely get that one going. Also, at the same time, we also have a new episode of our podcast, so make sure to check that one out. I believe it was Froskuren and Raz on this week's. Now, I'm not going to spoil any of the topics, but I know every time they're on my analyst desk, sparks definitely fly. So I would say just tune into that one and see what happens.
Yeah, and I know that every time they're talking to each other about the LPL, they get very historical, and they like to deep dive onto things. So I would not be surprised if that podcast is entirely about history of teams.
Yeah, would not be surprised at all. But enough of that, enough of the housekeeping. Let's talk about our first match of the day, which is in Chengdu with OMG versus BLG. Now, talking about these two teams, I feel like you kind of gravitate towards the mid lane, especially when OMG is involved with anybody. You look at Icon and it's like, well, who is Icon taking on today? And of course, that also extends to the jungle and mid synergy, but you've of course got to take a look at Icon, and of course, on the opposite side, it's Mole.
The Assassin Aficionados, as they have now been named as well. Mole versus Icon, and you mentioned there's a bit of a difference between both of them, of course. One of them maybe has the assistance of a jungler there, the other is Icon. And Icon is the assassin player. He was known as the hitman, he goes for those solo kills. But when you look at this split, you can see the stats on your screen. Mole has actually got 9 solo kills and is 3rd in the mid laners of the league.
Now, I like what you did there, and you completely dodged the KDAs from both these two players. One is 25th and one is 20th, and that's just of mid laners. Now, consider there are 14 teams in the league. You definitely think about what that actually means.
It doesn't mean a lot of good things, but we'll get to watch the good things from them instead. Of course, Icon and Mole as individual players aren't a lot of the reason why their KDAs are shot. In a team game, there will be times where you die. There will be games where you lose it, your KDA gets naturally worse, but they've still got some highlight moments to speak towards for themselves. This one is an example. Icon playing the Fiora does get himself a cheeky little triple kill, and they're able to win some nice team fights. And OMG still have that spark in them, just like BLG do themselves. They've got the capabilities to win the team fights. They've got the heroic moments from these players of Mole and from Icon to make the plays happen. And they're Assassin Aficionados for a reason, because they can play them and they can beat them.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Because you're just talking about the Fiora, great pick into these Assassins nowadays, and it's like, well, it's a natural progression for Icon to be like, okay, well, I play the Assassins, now I can shut down the people who want to be Assassins because I know intimately how they work. At the same time, you see other play, we've also seen some of the Rise play out of these mid laners on top of that, the Quadra kill, of course, coming out here from Mole.
Yeah, and almost looking for the Penta as well, getting denied by some fancy footwork from an Assassin, of course, of the LeBlanc. And that is one of the champions that we have to keep in mind here for this set. For when BLG play against OMG, Talon is a big one, LeBlanc is a big one. And then you look at the things that they play as counter mages, so to speak, as well. The Rise always possible, and the Cassiopeia that we've seen, the Fiora that we've seen in the tanks, never really know.
Well, we spoke about mid lane, but of course there's a team behind him. It's going to be Xiang in the jungle, Walt 6, Xiang in the top lane, Walt 6 in the jungle, with Icon in the mid, Chelly and 5 manning the bottom lane. On the upside, it's BLG.
And of course, Amazing J in the top lane, Chieftain in the jungle, Mole is your star mid laner with Jin Jiao and the Wanderer in Road as support.
Yes, sir, and we're just talking about those mid lanes, so why not continue? I think talking about Icon, he's definitely the assassin player, but I also think he's very much the highlight hunter this split. If you think about some of the top plays that have happened in the LPL, I think that Icon controls at least 2 or 3 of them. I think back to the Cassiopeia play, I think back to his LeBlanc play, you know what I mean? Like, but then you actually look at OMG and how they're performing as a team, and how many times, you know, he actually comes out with like a good KDA or good stats. It's like, hang on, something here doesn't add up.
There's a couple of things there at play. For one, I think that he looks like a highlight hunter because his team is losing, so he has to be a highlight hunter to win games. I think that is firstly a part of it. And I think past that as well, he individually has always been called the hitman. So I'm not surprised that the progression of him as a player has gone from just a hitman in a winning team to a highlight hunter in a losing team. That has always been him as a style. And I think it's a cool style to have. I think it's great to have that kind of flavor in the league. There's a time and a place to highlight hunt. And it's not always going to be every game like Icon does.
Now, I say, like, how do we combine the two names, right? Highlight Hunter and Hitman of the LPL. Do you say, like, Hitman, Highlight Hitman, or what are we going with here?
John
Wick. You've got Hunter and John Wick's cool, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
We do that too.
I mean, that's pretty highlight-filled hunting when I think of John Wick.
That's fair. Who's the dog in this scenario?
Oh, SMLZ.
Who did they kill? Well, I guess SMLZ is off the team. Yeah, he's dead. SMLZ.
We got it. Didn't even know I had it. I made that up on the spot.
This is the thing. Rusty makes analogies. I like to keep digging into it, see if he can react on the fly. No, but like, of course, then you've got to open up to the jungle as well. And today, we'll actually have World 6 playing in the jungle here for OMG, which is a big difference for them because I feel like a lot of their wins, or at least some of the success, has been because of their new jungle.
Yeah, Mountain has been a big part of OMG's team as well as P for the Ash arrows flying everywhere. But ultimately, when you look at this team now, when you've got World 6 in, when you've got Icon playing with him, and you look at the 2v2 of their opponents as well, that's where it's all going to be settled in that early game. And if Chieftain and Mole can beat World 6 and Icon, then things start well for BLG. But conversely, World 6 has always been a very aggressive early style player.
Yes, he has,
I think of the Lee Sin when I think of World 6 as well, for very good and bad reasons.
Yeah.
So if he can get it going, he snowballs hard.
In my mind, etched into my memory banks is a memory of World 6 on Elise diving mid lane turret at level 3 and dying. So he's the type of player who will win you the game or lose you the game, similar to MLXG, but do it within the first 2 minutes of the game. Now, OMG vs BLG are into Champions League. Talon, Camille, Gangplank will be the balance here from OMG with first pick of Talia into the jungle, most likely, and BLG are going to prioritize the Kindred here alongside the Shen.
And it's funny to note how junglers and their priorities have completely shifted. Nocturne was a very big deal, but Kindred came up as an existing pick into that Nocturne. So Talia, of course, was still up there anyway.
Yep.
But now Kindred gets picked without the Nocturne, because people have just said, hang on a second, Kindred's actually nuts, let's just pick the champion more often than not. So Nocturne not to be picked, not to be banned at all in this draft, unless the Talia flexes to mid.
Exactly. Now, I wonder actually what World 6 will take into the jungle, because if it's not the Talia, then only so far in Split he's played Kindred and he's played Trundle. So it's like, well, are you going to pick the Trundle into Kindred or bring something out new for us? So far in Split, yes, he is 0-2, but that's also because the team has a lot of losses under their belt, being at 3 and 7. Actually tied with BLG as we have ourselves a Yasuo.
And a bit of a smile there from Icon as well as he locks that one in. So a bit of excitement here from OMG. Icon can play the Yasuo very well. Also denies it from Mole potentially. So we speak towards the Assassins. I would say the Yasuo counts as one once he hits 3 items for certain. Gets that 100% crit going. Even 2 items. And there's an Assassin against it.
Yes, there is. So LeBlanc comes through here for Mole. I mean, like, Icon will be looking at this one and it's just like, all right, kid, what do you got? Because Icon, I think he's pretty definitively said he is the LeBlanc player in the LPL. I don't think anyone can really take that title away from him. So Mole, we'll see if he can step up to the plate here today. It will be a BLG ban of the Sejuani, so they are still banning junglers out against World 6 right here. So just predicting that Talia could go into the mid lane or the bot lane.
And definitely possible as well as the Yasuo flexing when an Alistar is locked in. So Chelly able to play that with 5 down in the bottom lane 2v2. They know it's a Shen. They don't know anything past that point, however, in terms of what the AD will be for Jin Zhao. Now, Jin Zhao can play the Swain. He can play anything really in that bottom lane. So far he's had mixed success, varying even with the picks aside.
Yeah, very true. OMG will take away the Mundo, so just something easy for AJ to play on the top lane. Now, I do actually wonder if OMG will follow up with maybe a Darius ban, because AJ has been actually popping off on that pick recently. BLG on their final ban will look towards the Gnar here as well. So if OMG don't ban the Darius here, there's actually fewer picks that will actually be played into that one, unless Xiang is actually feeling himself a Quinn or a Jace.
Xiang may even consider picking it for himself if Amazing J doesn't. When you look at BLG's composition, they could deal with some crowd control, perhaps in the way of like an engage tool, so something like Ornn comes to mind as a big deal. The Mundo has been taken away, and Darius can provide you something. But Darius is also, it's a bit of counter synergy with Kindred in the same way that it can work in your favor. You can get the 5 stacks off standing inside it and get the resets. The Q heal can be massive for a Darius sitting in there and proccing it. But at the same time, you want to be a Darius into it more often than not as well to get those stacks off from your opponents once that Lamb's Respite goes away.
That's true. Swain's going to be priority here from BLG. Now, how could we, of course, forget about Swain? He's been cropping up more and more in the LPL. I feel like the LCK has gotten there a little bit faster than us, but we're definitely catching up. And OMG, back over to them. What are they going to be picking up here? So they still need a top laner. Still question marks on where this Atelier is going to go. It will be a lock-in of the Ornn. And historically, we definitely said that AJ was the conductor of the pain train. But today, it looks like it will probably be Xiang. And that's that flexed into the mid. Now, Graves comes through, bit of a curveball, but I will say over the 27-28 games that he's played so far, he has a 70% win rate, which is quite high, I would have to say, over that many games in the LPL.
Yeah, Camille banned, and that's one of the good picks into the Kindred with the ultimate interactions between them. So, of course, Graves now going to be secured. Nice trading through the jungle as well, able to clear at a decent speed. Maybe find the Kindred, keep her down. At the end of the day, that Graves pick flexes the Tilia mid, flexes the Yasuo to the bottom lane, and OMG's composition has a lot of setup for a Yasuo. As Amazing J just says, throw setup out the window. I am proxy farming top lane.
Yep. Give me that Singe. Let's go. I'm still waiting for that Darius game, by the way. I want him to carry around a pillar. I think that'd be great. But not today. We're going to have that Ornn up there into that Singed. No Darius. Now, I do want to talk about BLG a little bit and about this composition because we have definitely a lot of things going on here. You know, you have multiple ways to save targets. You have a Singed going in. Now, he doesn't have an instant dash in, though he will run at them very quickly. So he'll have like a Kindred there to protect him, a Shen on top of him to follow after.
I think there might be a bit of a disconnect there in terms of the composition if they're not all running forward. Singed and Shen actually works in a beautiful harmony. And you can't really stop a Singed from engaging on someone. He's going to hit someone.
He's going to flip someone.
And usually you'd find that you can either crowd control the Singed or you can kill the Singed if he's by himself, especially in mid-game. You know, a lot of top laners, when they play the champion, they don't rush any kind of resistances. You see like a Shirelia's Righteous Glory build even from the likes of Flandre. Get that gotta go fast, Singed build, and that does leave you very open to deaths. And means you're very ult reliant on sustainability and survivability. Shen provides a lot for you there for BLG, but it does mean that a lot of their engage isn't really engaged. There's no Ornn, so to speak, that we said they may have wanted. OMG took that. What you're looking at is either a flank or a flank, or you've got some kind of big plays coming out of the Swain or the LeBlanc, and I think that's where you need to be going forwards for those two to be successful.
Yeah, on the opposite side right here, the OMG composition. In the mid lane, Icons are going to be playing into a LeBlanc, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely will. Of course, he's opted away from the Assassin as well in that lane. They've flexed the Talia towards... You know what? They haven't. Let's let this... It's Chelly. I wasn't looking. No! It's Chelly playing AD Graves. We've been had.
We have been had, Rusty.
Because, you know what? There's no such thing as a standard composition in League of Legends anymore. And I saw a Graves and I was like, well, Talia flexes and Yasuo flexes. And they just said, why would we flex when we can just pick Graves?
All right, lads. Anyway, interesting composition coming out from both sides. We'll see what they turn out to be on the Rift and how the teams execute. For now, though, I'm going to hand it off to Chengdu.
I don't think they want a chance today. Yeah, I don't think they want a chance today.
Oh, wait.
Oh, Lord.
Did he just say TSA? Look, okay, look. I feel like the ringleaders are not here today in the venue. I feel like a lot of teams have been stepping up recently. I think that the JD manager has definitely been leading that charge. I've heard it from Rogue Warriors. Rogue Warriors been popping up.
You know the one that you have to talk about, though. We're going to let OMG invade here first. There's going to be 3 of them taking the blue buff. It's uncontested. Now, what I did want to say regarding Chance is JD's manager, very loud, yes.
Yeah.
But WE's person who hits the drum and yells WE, underrated. You can't hear it in the camera because he is, in the mic rather, because he's at the back of the crowd.
Yeah.
But that guy almost blew my eardrums out.
Oh, yeah?
In the arena, nuts.
give him his own microphone, to be honest. I mean, we definitely hear his
drum.
drum. Yeah, it's true. If we gave him a microphone, he might just destroy everybody.
It's hard to appreciate, you know, that Team WE is like this example of follow through. 1,000 people in that audience, and it can pack out
so
all
far.
the time. Like, that's massive.
That's actually twice the size of Shanghai.
It sure is.
Take a look at the runes here from the old Chelly in the bottom lane. He's actually running Precision first.
Yeah, chose to go towards the Fleet Footwork as his Keystone Master and has got the Cleanse. So, seems to me as though he wants to sustain through that early game. And I mean, at the end of the day, I know that Fleet Footwork got a lot of nerfs in terms of its efficiency and lifesteal hitting minions for ranged champions particularly. So, it's surprising to still see that he's gone towards that at all, unlike, say, a Lethal Tempo Graves where you could maybe reload quicker. Either way, that's the choice. It's defensive. And he's against the Swain Shen that isn't the strongest early laning phase besides that crowd control combo. Yep. And Graves has got a dash to navigate around that.
I just like that we've gone full circle, to be honest, as I'm just looking at the junglers tracking each other in the jungle and the mid lane as well, as Icon's getting a lot of damage down onto Mole. Meanwhile, in the jungle, World 6 is actually just soloing Chieftain. Gets the kill there on Talia, has to flash out of that tornado. Flash follow through from World 6 is big. He's got the red, but follow through. Icon doesn't find them up, but they're still chasing. Jump over the wall. Need to dodge both of these. Flick comes through. Last auto attack, and it's going to be a double for World 6.
World 6 just plays BLG pretty much by his lonesome. Nice trades in the mid lane from Icon, and he still keeps the Ignite as the end result of that. At the end of the day, the flash not even necessary from him, but unfortunately doesn't get the assist. World 6 just with that early pop-off.
And Rusty, didn't we say this before we went into game, that World 6 is the type of player who will lose you the game or win you the game before 5 minutes?
And this time he finds the Kindred very early, standing in the right place at the right time. You saw how the kill happened, and there's not a lot you can do in that situation, Chieftain, when he's face checking. Scuttle Crab not available for him, so it looked like he was just pathing towards mid lane where they were fighting, but that was all a part of OMG's grand plan.
Unbelievable stuff. 2-0 to start us off in this game. 1,000 gold advantage. Most of that is on World 6, who's gone back to base, picked up the Fiend's Codex.
And that's moving gold pulse, so that's something that could very easily influence the map as Chieftain looking top.
And he's going to chase down this Xiang. He was grounded, so he had to wait a little bit before he flashed. So nice gank out there. Actually forced Ornn back early, so he doesn't manage to just sit in top lane forever, building items.
It felt like a safety flash for me as well from Xiang. He did have the dash, and instead of using it, perhaps he wasn't sure what wins in a priority game between a Singed Fling and an Ornn as bottom.
That's definitely fair. Road is low. He's got the shield coming out from the passive. Nice block coming out there from Jin Zhao as well, knowing how the Graves mechanics works right there. So in the end, it will be a kill. We'll send Road packing.
Great early damage here from OMG, and they're going to make the minion wave crash under the turret. When you actually think about it, however, there was 2 summoners used by the bottom lane of OMG. Flash from Chelly is gone, but the cleanse is available, so it's a hard thing to get the kills if you are BLG's bottom lane 2v2, but the possibility always there.
I feel bad for Jin Zhao right there. Wrecked himself, tried to CS a minion on the front line, and then messed up all his backline minions. So yeah, he ended up missing 6. World 6, speaking of, is in the river, going to be spotted out by this Scry's Blue. Finds himself 96 gold.
Yeah, that Scuttle got marked earlier. I was surprised he didn't hit it straight away, but it felt like he was hunting the Kindred. If someone showed up to try and take it, he was going to go for that execute. You can see the control ward just in the river, just above it, placed by World 6. That's exactly the purpose of that ward. If I could find that Kindred going for those marks, kill her instead. Get it on the way out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair shout, right? You know, Mark is on the crab. Also, bot lane was being
spotted on a ward.
Yeah, everyone knows the Chieftain's here. If I was going to walk into this bush and just spot him out once again. World 6 is going to be spotted on this ward, which he'll clear out. So, the jig is up. BLG know exactly where they were.
The Chieftain can't do a single thing. When you really look at this early game so far, he hasn't been enabled to exist at all. Amazing J actually even looking towards this middle lane. And, you know, a lot of this, when we said it just before the game started, the early pressure is a very big deal here between these teams. World 6 renowned, for better or worse, to be aggressive in the early game. But even for the likes of BLG, if they win the 2v2, they look significantly better as a team. If they lose the 2v2, then things tend to look rather dire for them, and that's where the subs come in games 2 and 3. Remember that you've got Mianhua and Athena just around the corner.
Yeah, pretty much exactly that. As World 6 is just here to cover Icon. I was just going to say, because BLG, we were highlighting the fact that Mole and Chieftain, big for the team. BLG, if you look at them historically as well, when he came into the team, they were instantly more aggressive. All of the early game problems were solved. They were like, oh, wow, I guess BLG are just good now. Then coming into summer, there was a lot of struggles actually happening in the mid 2v2 and also just across the team in general. And now we see this game, and it's literally, where are the 2 kills? It's literally in jungle and mid. So again, the problems are recurring. We have seen them sometimes fix those problems. I think of the EDG set, but is that a flash in the pan? Because they'll always play up to EDG when they play them. Like, they look like a different animal, to be honest, in that series. Now we see them now 2 series on after playing Rogue Warriors on Tuesday, Wednesday, coming into this game, and it seems like we're back to normal.
Kind of. I think that this particular game, it's hard to call it this early in, but it was just a skill matchup in mid lane that Mole lost at the same time as Chieftain being caught out of position. So I think that you know, their strength of the 2v2 early aggression was never enabled. They were just beaten to the punch. And that's something that OMG are also entirely capable of doing. OMG and LGD, 2 teams that we'll be seeing play today, have got some early game presence about themselves. It's the rest of the game where they start to lose, and that's one of the places where BLG are strong. So this game's still well and truly on the table.
Take an Icon for a walk right there on the leash. And in the end, he will continue pushing out this mid lane. Now, I think it's funny though, because you look at OMG and you look towards their win conditions, and actually part of it is Icon, if you could do something just spectacular, you know, around like a Baron, around mid game, that'd be great. And then usually they win a game off it, and it's like, all right, perfect. But that is not a reliable way of winning a game nor a series, right? So they need to actually find something within that mid game and late game that they can definitively say, this is the way that we win. This is our super move.
Yeah, miracles can make a hero, but they definitely cannot make a good team. And that's one of the problems that OMG currently face for themselves. For BLG, it seems to be consistency and keeping that early game strength that they've always had before. Everything has slowed down through this early game, even with the early lead that World 6 had forged for himself, being 2-0 and completed his jungle item. So it's a big Talia, and it's a Talia that can roam around.
That was a double hook right there on the claw. Chelly farming out the minions, and Five actually wants in on this because he knows that Talia's right behind them. She's going to be following over this wall road. Oh, perfect timing on the perfect timing.
Nailed it. He had no flash as well, Road. He's looking at 30 seconds till that's available, so he had to use his stopwatch. And just dodging away from that flick means that he'll stay alive. No crowd control left from 5 on that Alistar, so World 6 was the only thing left to give them entryway into a kill. Well navigated by BLG on the defense.
Yeah, real nice there. But that was definitely, once again, on those individual outplays in the moment, whereas OMG are definitely the ones being proactive right here. Now, I feel like this is one of the first times we've actually got to see the top lane island. Xiang versus Amazing J up there, and AJ's essentially gotten past his early trough and is now just singed, where he'll just run around, he'll farm minions, he'll just be annoying. He'll wander mid lane sometimes, he'll wander into the enemy jungle sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of the goals, and you're a top laner, so you know this more than I do. The only real goal you have against the Singed once he becomes full proxy mode is that you want to get his ultimate off. Because that means he can actually die if someone comes up there a minute or so later. It's the only real benefit you would have. Is a nice little E there.
Yeah, real nice. For some reason, Jinjiao just keeps connecting these over and over and over again.
It's almost like Graves is a ridiculously low-range AD carry that has to stand still to lock his auto-attack animation with low attack speed.
Yeah, nah. Oh, Chieftain on his way into the bottom lane, but as is World 6. Going to be engaging it right here. Instant teleport coming down out from BLG's side, and it feels like the answer may be committed. 5 flashing away, but he's still being chased down. Goes into the perfect timing against Jinjiao. Now under attack. What a flick coming in from the Talia. And 5, you're a madman. You just get out of there, but he wants in once again. The call has been made, and he will commit. Down comes the respite and the teleport on top of the Shen as well.
Oh, got him.
That's another flick one onto Chieftain. That'll be yet another kill. Knocked up and knocked down. Road low. We'll have his passive there to save him, but another 2 kills to OMG.
Road barely survives. 2 kills now into the hands of Chelly. It's not just going to be World 6 who reaps the rewards. It's OMG as a team now as well. Great team fight, honestly, coming out of them, and a lack of cohesion very much evidenced by the side of BLGs. It's not just the 2v2 in the bottom lane. It was Chieftain involved in that mix, and I think that's something that we really have to continue to watch here. Chieftain uses the ultimate as Road does on the Shen, and that ended up getting himself killed on the back part of this fight. Now OMG engage it. So they go forwards first. 5, very nice combo here to try and keep himself up, but he doesn't have an ult. It was just off cooldown pretty much as he dies, uses a stopwatch, and throws it out just before the stopwatch. So, you know, lives for that extra half second, but too little too late in terms of cooldowns. Now, Amazing J thought he was good. You know, he's running away, he's pretty good, and then Chieftain gets knocked up, flung in, wishes he had the Lamb's Respite to walk it out this time. Bit of a miscommunication there in the end from BLG, cost them dearly.
It did, and World 6 apparently just doesn't miss flicks, actually. I think he's hit every single one this game, or at least the ones that I've seen. In that fight, yeah, he's just, it's pretty nuts, actually. World 6 is playing out of his mind this game. Chieftain has managed to pick up this Herald, though, kind of sneaking that out from underneath OMG's nose, just as the top lane was rotating there. So actually a nice bit of timing. Of course, it is the exchange for a massive amount of damage on the bot side, but hey, it's something.
And the Infernal Drake's belonging to OMG as well. So they're able to pick up the Rift Herald, sure, and it's a decent trade for objectives when you look at those in perspective, but at the end of the day, the Herald doesn't even guarantee a turret until you place it in the correct place. And OMG currently have got control of the map, and they've got their item spikes starting to come across, namely the Storm Razor rushed from Chelly. That is a big grave. So whoever gets on top of you, hits those Qs, or the auto attacks rather, at close range with the shotgun. Multiple bullets connect, and he's going to smack your health bar.
I actually just love that we're coming full circle with Graves, you know? Like, he used to be an AD carry down in the bottom lane, his Q used to be his auto attack.
I miss the old Graves.
And now we're in this game, and he's an AD carry again.
These two are just
duking it out, yeah.
And the ball just...
Well, do you know how Windwall works?
I'm pretty sure he's played Yasuo. That doesn't matter in the end. He still outplayed the Yasuo for the first half of that trade. Yeah. That was cute though. You watch these mid laners go at each other, you watch a Yasuo against a LeBlanc, the only way you can win this lane is by being aggressive and using your cooldowns appropriately.
Yep.
So Mole actually used his dash to dodge Yasuo's damage, and then came back to his own position of safety before queuing into a wind wall that, you know, that is the enabling tool of keeping Icon in the trades. And it means that every 25 odd seconds Yasuo can fight you.
Yep.
But you have more windows as a LeBlanc between that long cooldown to take some trades of your own. And that's usually what gives LeBlanc the advantage in what is normally just a skill matchup.
Uh-oh. Chelly walks right into Road, managed to buffer out the quick draw, so he's going to be okay on this one. Yeah, as much as I joke, I mean, that was really well played by both mid laners, and coming into this game in Champions Select, I was looking towards Mol and it's like, ooh, are you sure about that? Picking LeBlanc into Icon? But it seems like he has mechanics down on point in the mid lane against him anyways. It seems like, at least from what I was noticing during the laning phase, he was controlling the wave very well, he was positioned correctly against the Yasuo, he was actually seeing the right windows, which he could harass him during the minion trades, so all in all, I've been impressed with how Mol has done. It's just unfortunate how, I guess the level 2 or 3 went when the jungler died.
Yeah,
and they died.
I mean, you say that as well, but he also lost that trade early against the Conqueror, and he was pushed towards the Taliyah, who got the kill. So Icon still navigated that early game very well, and that's one of those things that Icon can do, just as much as World 6 can do. Is they can take those early duels, they'll take the fights, they'll make the aggressive plays, and not everyone expects you to do exactly that.
I mean, the difference here, right, it looks like Mol knows what to do and sometimes can't do it, whereas Icon does both. Like, he knows what to do and can do it, and that's really what separates a lot of the mechanical players in the mid lane, especially the assassin players, from you know, the ones that don't. It's like, if you know what to do and you get the assassinate off in the team fight, well, great. You've done your job. So that's really what matters in the moment. This World 6 has just been here for a good, like, 30 seconds now, just annoying Chieftain.
Lots of pressure to be seen around this middle lane now. World 6 does have the Weaver's Wall, has got the ultimate there if they wanted to make a play. Now, LeBlanc does still have a decent amount of wave clear, but the blue buff has just fallen off her, so this is now a window of opportunity, let's say, for the chance to push into the middle lane, and with a Graves unlocked with item spike, it's always possible.
Uh-oh. We're at the bottom lane, he's going to return some damage. Mid lane, though, they're definitely going at it. Here comes the wall once more, cuts off Cheaton, looking for a bit of a wall, but Mol is already dead, and Cheaton walks in there basically to his death, pops the Lamb's Respite, time out, time in, World finds the kill.
And they just get easy cleanup there. OMG through the 2v2 again, but Mol and Icon now bottom.
Wallow. Yeah, misses the Shadow Dash flash right there, but Amazing J's coming into the bot lane anyway, looking for that flick to happen, and there's no escape from a Singe, who's got the Insanity Potion running. 450 gold to him, 5 walking it up, but goes into the Unbreakable Will. He has now just been broken and is getting chased out there. Stuns the Singe as he comes in. That's still a second to Amazing J.
But the Poison still gets the kill regardless. BLG, they make the immediate counterplay on the bottom side of the map. Now, the reason that that's important is I'm pretty sure Xiang's ultimate, teleport rather, was available. It might have been just off cooldown. Either way, he didn't use it. He's just hanging out in top lane, he's pushing the wave. Could have maybe saved his team if he chose to go to the bottom lane. However, OMG, they broke mid. They are still trading up as an end result of this. They are choosing the trade instead of the counterplay.
Alright, well, the jury will make a decision, Rusty, when we see the replay.
Oh, he's
here
in now.
comes Xiang. Now he's into the bottom lane. He looks at Jin Zhao, finds the knockup. World 6 is going to follow. Hits the pebble. Ow, 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 ow. And this should be a kill. There we go.
They lock him down eventually. They'll secure the kill. Xiang's just going to recall. Doesn't get the top lane turret. Chooses to assist in the bottom lane as after the fact instead of during the fight. Now 4-0-3 is the jungler of OMG. World 6 popping off. These two go at each other very early. Ignites and Windwall used early. And his flash forwards pretty much all but secures the kill there. Mole with no real point of safety. And Chieftain tries to come in, but gets smashed by all of the pebbles of World 6 and crit by Icon. He's just dead. Shouldn't have come in, shouldn't have assisted. But this is where BLG do a good thing that always happens in a BLG game, is that Amazing J's down there, he's down there early, and he's able to assist. Now we can, the vote is in.
Let the record show.
There is a teleport and
the
an ultimate and a flash available from Xiang, and I feel like there was 30-odd seconds to use it there, but
indeed.
We said it before, the conscious decision, he wants to get damage on the top lane, they're already breaking the mid lane, and he knew that his opponent would not be able to get bottom if he had to teleport in afterwards anyway.
Well, the jury still finds him guilty, so there's that. For now though, OMG will back away, and they've still managed to win over most of these trades, 7-3. Both dragons in this game so far. Next dragon's going to be a Cloud, so yeah, we're going to be catching them all on this one. But still, a 2,000 gold advantage is nice, plus the 2 towers they've managed to find in bot, and it looks like mid lane as well. Yeah, top tower's still up because it's a singed, but still, yeah, OMG have a real nice advantage in this early game.
They definitely do, and it's the kind of advantage that can genuinely win them the game. OMG are one of those sides that, you know, with the early game lead, unlike someone like LGD, they'll break the outers and not know how to end the game. OMG are pretty good at ending the game. They just never get the leads in the first place. So now pushing through this one, BLG are still counterplaying very nicely in their own ways. They've got good CS across the board, even if the kills haven't been there. Now, what will OMG do to make the play? That was not the play.
I feel bad for you, Xiang. I mean, that was like a quarter of a teamo off from being a nice knockup, but it wasn't. Top lane. Oh, Road is on AJ. That's where he was teleporting to. Chelly caught off in the side lane by himself. What are you going to do?
It's amazing how all it takes is a sniff from BLG and they'll make the play with no hesitation. Amazing J's able to lock that one down with Road. World 6 now coming up to defend, not to trade on the opposing side, but all it took was a Yasuo to appear bottom lane. BLG said, well, this is free reign on the opportunity. It looks like they're going towards us in bottom. They set up the play, they get the play in order, and they just knock it down.
Yeah, you know, I feel like whenever a play has Road involved, like AJ says teleport and Road says I'm already on you. You know what I mean? Like he's the type of guy who's bloodthirsty enough to already be there to a play when he even sniffs some blood in the water.
I wonder if it doesn't go that way. An Amazing J would say teleport, but only like Road half the time. Let's say Road would be like, I am teleporting top lane and I don't know why, and Amazing J just sprints in because he has to.
Yeah.
That's the kind of player Road makes me think of.
That's true. I mean, as FLICKR and I have, we always look at BLG and we look at Road, and if his KDA is positive, generally BLG are doing well. We call it the driving test. Right now, his KDA is positive, so BLG, they're not in the worst situation. They're not in the best one,
now,
but
honestly, that's one of my pet peeves just there. What is Chieftain hoping to achieve by stepping up to a Talia that outranges him as Kindred? To just take health. Just to take damage from a Talia that is 4-0-3. That's the kind of thing that, like, just stop, you know? Like, just back away, respect that it is gone. Don't give an opportunity to your opponent to deal damage to you, because what if that accidentally becomes a kill or a summon a spell used, and that's now an opportunity for them to exploit the map against you.
Yeah, I will definitely say that, oh, hello. Icon's definitely coming in here, follow through into the last breath. It's good right now coming in from OMG. We're going to buy a bit of time using the respite once more, but Icon gets flipped into the enemy team. He finds a knock up onto Road, but the rest of the team running away now. That's a nice flash into the Shadow Dash. Coming in from Road. Icon will bleed out from that one, courtesy of Chieftain. 5, last auto comes in from Mole, and that'll find the kill on Road. Now under attack, that'll be Xiang claiming that one.
The cavalry arrives from OMG, and it may be enough to help them win the fight. If nothing else, they've got the health advantage. The end result is still favorable to BLG by kills. That was super dangerous, though super close, and executed almost perfectly by OMG to make something out of a bad situation. as OMG press forwards.
Yeah, very true. But Chelly potentially to be taken out. Oh, that was a blast cone. I was like, why is that Sims flying? Oh, flash forwards, more looking for the kill. Jelly flashing away. That's electrocute damage as well. And Amazing J is hunting.
Not going to find. Actually still going. No, he's going bottom lane. Yep. He's got his priorities in order. So everything will calm down once again. OMG not losing a crazy amount from it. It's just kills, and it was just a fight in the middle lane. It wasn't an objective-focused fight. It was a fight leading up to a potential objective. Because Icon caught out of position, but navigating this fight so incredibly well that he lives for as long as he does, forces the Lamb's Respite, even gets back. Now it's a red buff, I believe, from Chieftain that secures the kill in the end. Yep, that'll be the kill. Almost thought he was going to live through that, but of course the red buff locks him down. Now Road Court will trade his life. 5 and Icon are the sacrifices from OMG, however. But with World 6 still there, the opportunity to push forwards was present for them, so they don't lose the fight. And there's no objective to take. BLG just saw a chance and they took it.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like so often, you know, in OMG games and indeed in like FPX games as well, we're just fighting for the sake of fighting a lot of the time because someone sees an opportunity to go in and then afterwards they think, okay, well, what objective is up? And then usually there isn't objective. There might be just a minion wave that's out of place or maybe a buff to move towards, and that's what they end up getting. So it's just like objective because of circumstance versus them setting up a play because of an objective.
Yeah, and a lot of the time it's also forced circumstances as well, which is a consideration there. Like, you know that Icon's out of position, but that's because you've done X and Y to force that. It's just a difference in mentality between we want to do this objective, so we are going to be over near this objective, opposed to why is this person in this place? Let's kill that person. And some people naturally gravitate towards the thinking of the former, some to the latter.
It's totally fair. Oh, hello, Mole finds Icon, but generally doesn't want to tussle with him. In the jungle, I will say once again that World 6, 404, scoreline not found, but what is found is the fact that he has 100% kill participation in this game. Not only did he start off strong, but he's continued to be strong. Now, conversely, I look at someone like Chieftain, and you were talking about him just randomly stepping up sometimes. I feel like he definitely gets rattled a little bit when he doesn't win the early game. Like, I look at Chieftain as very much a control jungler, not just in the sense of what he plays, but also his mentality, right? Like, you think of Skarner, you think of him controlling areas, and if he loses the early game, we see him do a lot of random things when you hit the early, the mid game, sorry.
So I think that's a very interesting point. The big thing that you hit there is that he is known for Sejuani and Skarner. He's not really renowned for his kindred prowess. And this is perhaps an experiment from him as well on how successful can we be as Mole. Big trouble.
Yeah, he definitely just walked into a dark alley, and there were 3 members of OMG right there.
Yeah, he's overextended, he doesn't have the vision, and there's no tower there to keep him alive. So Molt is just going to die, not even a summoner spell available. You saw that used before when he tried to find Chelly near the blue side of the map. And OMG, they take an inch, and they're looking to run away with a Baron buff as well. This is super risky from them. BLG, Chieftain's right there, and he's got the Lamb's Respite.
He does indeed. He can buy a bit of time with that one. He doesn't have flash, however, but will be able to hop over this wall. He's waiting for a jump, so it is secured by the Talia. Hops back out again, hits the Respite, but it's the rest of the team that's now under attack. Last breath, and it will be his right there. World 6 jumps over and finds the kill regardless. Point blank shotgun and an Ornn.
And it was 1,000, now suddenly is 5,000 the lead for OMG. They secure the Baron, they get the kills afterwards as well. BLG, they throw themselves at the pit. And yes, OMG took a risk. They said we'll take the smite off against the Kindred, but the levels advantage with how big World 6 is, more than enough to secure that one. They'll take the necessary risk, and now they just barrel it down mid lane.
I mean, it was a high risk, high reward play, and now we're getting to see the high reward. They managed to take down the inhibitor tower, moving on to the inhibitor as well. They found another pick here. It might be actually lights out for here for BLG. Mole, lights out for him as the smoke screen gets thrown down, but OMG are happy with this one. They'll back away. Big wave in the bottom side, wave in the top side to maybe rotate to, and OMG, they cash in big.
They certainly do. Now they'll be able to spend all of the gold they've just earned after they go towards the next coming objective as well of the Cloud Dragons. So pretty massive victory there across the board from OMG as a team. Smart play, and it all starts once again with getting just that kill first, leading to the objective.
Inferno coming up next as well for him. It's a bit of a pick and mix of the Dragons, but OMG have played this one superbly through this game. A little bit unfortunate for the old World 6 though. That last kill that he managed to get also was at the cost of finding the assist. So Now, 10 out of 11. No perfect 100% goal participation for him this game, but I think he'll be okay with the fact that he's probably just going to win this one against BLG.
It's what a weird time to be Chelly. Just picking the graves, having a pretty good time, just absorbing pressure in the bottom lane, not really generating it. There was one looking at a kill in the bottom lane, but he's still a Graves, so he still scales up well, and he is very hard to kill in the marksman position. We spoke about that with the lane as well. All of the crowd control in the world can layer together between a Shen and a Swain, but there an opportunity to actually take him down just because he went for the cleanse and has done his part, if nothing else.
Yeah, definitely has. I actually want to see more Graves in the AD carry position now that Storm Raze is a rush that is viable for a lot of AD carries to go
Storm
towards.
Raze is nuts. I also want to see more Jin in the LPL.
Yeah,
I think that there's a lot of good Jin players and a great opportunity
Such as
to pick
Jin
that
Zhao.
one. Yeah, Jin
Just
Zhao, very
saying.
good example.
Gonna build a wall right here. More over the wall. Oh! Pokes his head up, you know, burrows in underneath the wall and is like, oh, that's a cow.
Just playing
back
some
down.
dodgeball right now.
Back
The
through a
wall
tunnel.
separates them. The line is put in the sand. OMG still with the Baron buff though. No banner of command, doesn't exist anymore. Rest in peace. Sieging is harder to do. And sieging into a Shen, into a Swain, into a LeBlanc is not always that easy to navigate when they can take you down very... Whoa, my god, goodbye.
I think Mole was there. Oh, that's going to be a double knockup into the last breath right here. Icon's following up over the wall, and that's another triple knockup. Please stop OMG. They actually want to play the game. That's going to go into the respite and actually help out OMG as BLG have to evacuate the premises, exiting stage right, but they are dead before they can even make the door. Jin Zhao by himself, 1 versus 2, looks for the Force Lightning. Xian's going to hit him with his hammer, and that's going to be a 5-man ace right there. OMG lead the series and take game 1.
And a 28-minute smashing from OMG is the end result of the game. I don't think World 6 even died throughout that one as well. Incredible performance from OMG's jungler. And you can see the team fighting capabilities of OMG. The point I was making just before they dove is sieging not ideal, but you can kill them instead. And then the siege is free to be had. That's exactly what they do, but at the same time, we should be crediting OMG for playing well. We should be highlighting Chieftain and Mole for their underperformance in this game, number 1. Maybe it's not underperformance. Maybe it's exploitation from their opponents. But the end result is that OMG smash them.
But that's the thing, really, Rusty. I mean, we look towards a team like OMG and it's like sometimes they just blast their opponent. It doesn't really matter who it is, you know? Like, of course they have a lower success rate against some of the top teams, but anyone around them, sometimes you'll just completely murderize them. And this game is an excellent example of that. World 6 comes in, we're even questioning, it's just like, hang on, why World 6? Where's Mountain? You know, like Mountain was a great addition to the lineup. Seems like he's been very consistent on the lineup as well. World 6, though, he is the most inconsistent player from what I've seen. You know, he's played a Trundle game, played a Kindred game, and now he's played a Talia game in this split alone. And World 6, like, literally, you were talking about the Lee Sin, I was talking about the Elise. He's the type of player who will just dive at you at level 1 underneath a tower because he wants to. And sometimes he kills you and wins the game, but more often than not, he dies and you lose the mid lane. But what we saw right there was the former significantly kills the enemy jungler, walks mid, kills the mid lane, and it's just like, well, I guess we just win the game.
I think this is where we could say that maybe OMG or World 6 has gone full circle, because when you think about his trajectory as a player, he was playing with SMLZ. That was the AD carry. All you needed to do was have some semblance of an early game lead, but even if you made a mistake, SMLZ was going to catch you when you fell. He was going to be that late game monster, and he was going to win games for you. This time around, SMLZ's gone from OMG, so they've had to redefine themselves as an identity. They wanted to keep the early game pressure, but they need to be able to control that into leads and into wins for themselves ultimately. So I think that, you know, this is a really good look in at what's capable from OMG if they still get those early leads. And a chance maybe now that World 6 has found the time, he's got the motivations with SMLZ gone to actually be the carry of this team and follow it through to get victories. Because that game number 1 from him was sick.
Yeah, John Wick was going through there as well, you know. But I want to actually start this one off talking about the bot lane. We have the replay actually to pull up right here. Now, I think this is the one where we had the play come in from BLG, and a certain someone decides to stay top lane.
Yeah, this is where 5 engages and goes forwards, and how quickly, of course, the Singe is going to find himself teleporting. This was actually the one where Xiang does come in. That was the one after where he did not teleport forward.
I'm sorry, Xiang.
You can forgive him for this one. At the end of the day, this is one of those other fights where 2 kills were secured by Chelly. Of course, that first one that has already gone down. The second one onto Chieftain, a man that we highlighted through the game, as seemingly having miscommunications, let's say with the rest of his team, and usually Chieftain and Mole are known as the duo, but even then they were not communicating too well.
Yeah.
And you saw moments of just miscommunications between them that results in deaths. And then in the bottom lane, happening again, but this time with the Shen using the ultimate, being killed afterwards, not having the ultimate available. There are these things there from BLG that felt like they were non-existent in their last couple of sets when they were playing against better teams.
Yeah.
So why now against OMG?
I don't know, Rusty. I don't have a good answer for you. But what I do have a good answer for is the fact that on the opposite side, World6 was just tearing it up. He was just blasting people and pretty much just like, yes, he was interacting well with Icon, but more often than not, he got those 2 kills and just roamed around the map killing people, invading into the enemy jungle. He was just a massive deal in this game. And it almost felt like he 1v2'd the mid lane and jungle duo by himself.
Yeah, barely missed a flick as well, for what it's worth. I think World6 had a fantastic performance. It was very immaculate coming out of the Talia, and it started at level 3. He didn't power feed his opponent at level 3. He knew exactly where Chieftain would be. He knew what he was doing even before Chieftain knew what he was doing. And I think that might be just Kindred play known down to a T. Having the Scuttle Crabs opens you up and forces you to go to places at times where maybe you don't want to. Talia is one of those duelist champions where a Kindred doesn't necessarily want to duel that early on unless you outplay something or something is used prior to the fight happening. So maybe it was just as simple as the Kindred, just as simple as Chieftain being Kindred, and suddenly everything goes awry. But it does still take steady hands to catch the throw, and I think that's what we could say about it.
Your hands still need to be up. And what we can say is while my hands are up, is that World6.
You got to catch like a butterfly. You can't just catch with your hands up.
World6 is our man of the match, 7-0-7, 88% on the kill participation as well on this Talia play. There's really good stuff coming out of him. It's going to be his first MVP as well, to be fair. He actually hasn't played much this split, it's mainly been Mountain, but yeah, good stuff, World6.
Of course, making the 6 symbol with his hands as well. World6.
That's true. Yeah.
7-0-7 was a good performance, and it is his first MVP as well. Of course, for those of you who haven't been watching the LPL, he doesn't play a lot at the moment. OMG have not been winning a lot, but he also hasn't been playing a lot. It's been Mountain primarily, I believe. Or at least changing.
This is his first win.
Changing between the two of them, yeah. So they're able to find a win this time around. OMG able to start a series on the right foot this time around. A rarity, to say the least.
True. Oh, we also have the mid lane fight that we're going to take a look at as well. Now, I'm going to hold off on blaming anyone before I actually get... yes. Now, I blame Icon because he had he had a chance. Yes, he navigated this fight very well, but then he was like, right here, he was like, okay, I'll walk towards... Oh, that's a cinch.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he had a way out, and we can blame Icon. We can absolutely, like, when you look at the tape, you could say Icon is the one who gets flung in and dies for this. The red buff, of course, from Chieftain locking him down. But at the same time, I don't know who the shot caller is from the OMG roster, and I have a feeling that 5 was yelling fight. And so Icon just fought. He just followed his natural instinct and was mispositioned and got flung, because that's what a Singe will do to you. So, yes, I'll sit here with you and I'll say that Icon was the one who got caught, but I am quietly just going to make assumptions for no reason. I'm going to say 5 was the shot caller and it's his fault, because I can't.
That's fair. We're analysts. We can say whatever the heck we want on this analyst desk, and we're right most of the time. All right, for that, we are going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll be tuning into Chengdu once more for this next game in the series.
去躲避那些责任和难题 ，OMG 的救赎由我们亲手完成。